Chapter 30. Recover and Reassess. Vivi passed out the moment she reached safety. Before collapsing, she checked her wounds. There were bruises across her body and slash marks on her back and chest. She cleaned them with river water, but she was too exhausted to care beyond that. Even with ether running through her veins, her muscles felt completely spent. She could barely sit upright. She mustered the strength to hack off a piece of emberstone with her claws and placed it in the middle of the cavern. She told Lucius to keep it warm, wished him good night, and collapsed. Vivi woke up with the worst aches she had ever felt. She lay on her back, staring at the ceiling as each wound burned. One night was nowhere near enough to recover from the fight. It felt as if her body was still in the middle of being reshaped from the inside out. "Morning," Lucius said. "How was your first hunt?" He walked in circles on her stomach, his whiskers and tail flickering at the edge of her vision. Vivi was too tired to lift her head. "The first time is always the worst," Lucius continued. "Human muscles aren't used to being pushed that hard with ether. Don't worry. You'll recover stronger than ever, even if it takes a few days." "Fantastic," Vivi muttered. "How deep do you think we are?" The Fang tanker was likely a squadron boss. There's no way it's the dungeon boss. We probably still have 3 to 5 levels left to descend. "No, I meant the world's levels," Vivi said. "We entered the dungeon on the 4th level. How deep can we really go?" "We are still officially on the 4th level," Lucius replied. "This dungeon exists inside a descent. That's a part of the land where the sky turns vertical. Descents usually span multiple levels. The dungeon is trapped inside it. It's impossible to travel between levels through descents unless you destroy your way through the sky." "If we think in terms of depth," Lucius said after a moment, "we're probably around the 6th or 7th level." "The 7th level exists?" Vivi asked. "It does," Lucius said. "So do the 8th, 9th, 10th, and beyond. The world is deep." Vivi stared at the ceiling, less shocked than she expected to be. "Humans are still arguing about whether the 5th level exists. How do you know so much?" "Only surface dwellers argue about the 5th level," Lucius said. "Ether hunters know about the 6th and 7th. I know about the deeper levels because... Well, me and my old wielder went on an adventure," Lucius said. His tone suggested he didn't want to elaborate. Spirits weren't supposed to keep many memories after their wielders died, yet Lucius remembered plenty. "You need to eat," Lucius said. "Good thing we have a river right here." Vivi forced herself upright with a groan. Every muscle screamed in protest, but she knew Zan didn't allow time for rest. As she stretched, she noticed her raincoat was still on. She dreaded checking it. It was the only thing she had left from home, and repairing it here would be impossible. To her surprise, the coat was perfectly intact. Her skin was cut beneath it, yet the coat had no damage. "I imbued your coat with ether," Lucius said. "It holds ether well, not perfectly, but enough that it survived. Pretty good armor if I say so myself." Vivi's eyes sparkled. She almost hugged him but held back. "Thank you, that's convenient." Lucius laughed proudly. Vivi stretched again and began the dull work of rebuilding a temporary camp and finding food. She sat by the slow-moving river, watching for fish. Whenever she spotted one, she extended Lucius's claw like a spear. The extended ether claws could stay solid as long as Lucius maintained them, making them effective for fishing. Her aim, however, was terrible. She missed over and over. After hours of failure, she asked Lucius to help. He refused, saying she needed the practice. Accuracy and instinct were important skills. It took 2.5 hours to catch her first fish. A small, sardine-like creature with dark scales and ether leaking from its eyes. Vivi hesitated to eat it, but Lucius assured her it wasn't poisonous. She laid out emberstones, gutted the fish the way Grandpa taught her, and cooked it with Lucius's help. The fish tasted incredible, far better than axeback soup or Grandpa's strange meals. With a river beside her and a body desperate for food, Vivi didn't stop at one fish. She spent another hour catching more. Her aim improved each time. Soon, 10 freshly caught fish lay in a row. Vivi sat on a rock and began cleaning the first one. A figure suddenly dropped from a crawl space into her camp. Vivi jumped to her feet in shock, claws forming instantly. The fish fell from her hands. It was the white-haired little fiend. She darted toward the pile of fish, grabbed them all in one move, and bolted toward another crawl space. "No," Vivi shouted. She fired an ether claw, catching only the corner of the fiend's oversized cloth. She avoided hitting skin. Hurting the fiend felt too cruel. The cloth snagged. The fiend's momentum flipped her downward, sending her crashing face first into the ground. Vivi hurried over and pressed a hand on the fiend's back to stop her from escaping. The fiend shrieked, kicking and thrashing. She even tried to bite. Her teeth couldn't reach and her kicks were too weak. Vivi caught her breath as the girl struggled. "Gods, you scared me," Vivi said. "How did you get in here?" The fiend kept kicking and crying. Her sounds were not monstrous growls but pitiful whimpers. She sounded more like a frightened child. Lucius emerged and walked around her. "That's surprising. I thought it was a monster. I didn't think any other Nimrod survived this deep." Vivi sighed. The fiend had nearly escaped. The question now was what to do with her. She couldn't kill her. Everyone above despised this little girl. Being caught must have been terrifying. The fiend continued struggling. Vivi placed a fish near the girl's face. "If you're hungry, I'll share," Vivi said. The fiend froze. She reached for the fish with her teeth, then her hands. Vivi held it just out of reach. "Calm down and I'll give it to you," Vivi said. The fiend didn't calm down. She kept reaching and flailing, focused only on the food. Vivi sighed. This was pointless. She gave in and handed her the fish. The fiend seized it in her mouth instantly, tearing into it with sharp fangs. "I think she's an idiot," Lucius said. Hungry, if nothing else, Vivi thought. Vivi released her hold and sat calmly between the fiend and the rest of the fish. Hopefully, the girl wouldn't run off again. Vivi lifted another fish where the fiend could see it. "I'm Vivi. What's your name?" Chapter complete. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe for more light novel adventures. Tune in for the next chapter.